Welcome everyone. We have got just one break tonight. It looks like we probably are going to have some teams available because unfortunately we've got some winning bidders who have not seen fit to pay for their teams yet. So yeah, we're probably going to have, unless the payments come in the next couple of minutes, looks like we're going to have probably 3 teams available in this break tonight of Revolution, the Chinese New Year edition. Before we get started ripping, there is some information to go over, so we're going to get rolling with that. So first up, my feedback. It is set to be completely automated on eBay. Anytime you leave positive feedback for me, you will instantly get positive feedback in return. And of course, the other thing there is a big thank you. Always appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, and hanging out with me. We're next going to take a look at what is coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night we'll open a case of Select Football. The XRC Redemption has a separate bidding spot. On Saturday night we're going to break the back half of the case of Heritage Baseball that we started on Wednesday. We will finish on Saturday. Sunday night is an off night. On Monday we're going to open Plates and Patches Football by the full case. On Tuesday night we will open Select Football yet again, and the same as tonight, the XRC Redemption will be a separate bidding spot. So that's how things are looking in the days ahead. Here's what you need to know about shipping and other fun, fascinating stuff. So this should be out the door and on the way no later than Monday. So I may be able to get it out to you sooner than Monday. If I can, I will. But because I'm not confident that I absolutely can, we're going to leave it setting for Monday. And of course, if I can get it done sooner, I will. And I think everybody's going to hit cards in this. That's the other thing. It has to do with consolation cards. If your team doesn't hit anything, not even a base card, you would still get a package in the mail. It would have consolation card or cards in it, and those would of course ship out when the rest of the break goes out. But I would imagine that every team's going to hit cards in here. That's my expectation anyway. Now, before we look at the teams, let me get back and take a look here at which things are unpaid, so we can see if anybody is interested in picking those teams up. So right now we need a home for the Washington Wizards, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the 76ers. Those are all sold but did not get paid. So Wizards, 76ers, and Blazers are all 3 available tonight. If someone is interested, please jump into chat and let me know. The Wizards belong to one person, so that could sell freestanding. The Blazers and the Sixers, I would have to find a home for both of those. Since they belong to the same person, I wouldn't be able to cancel just one part of the order. I would have to cancel the entire order. So is anybody interested? Wizards, Blazers, 76ers, anybody? Let me know. Looks like, okay, well, we just got the Sixers and the Blazers. The team owner just paid for it, so now it's just the Wizards. So Wizards are the only thing unpaid. And Scott, looks like they sold for $74 even on eBay, so somewhere in that neighborhood is what I would be looking for. And of course, shipping is included when you pick it up in chat, so you wouldn't incur any shipping costs or anything of that nature. The team owner, the original team owner, it looks like paid for the first 2 teams there. The 76ers and the Blazers have been paid. Now it's the Wizards that are left. So give me a second. I'm going to update the spreadsheet over here to reflect that that is an unpaid team, and we'll get moving here again in a moment. Let's see here. Almost done, guys and gals. Almost done. There we go. Now I think we've got it all updated. So Scott, any interest in the Wizards? Anybody else? Any interest in the Wizards? Please jump into chat and let me know if you are interested in them. They are available, sitting unpaid. So this is going to be 2 cases of Panini Revolution Basketball Chinese New Year edition. So in the Chinese New Year edition, these come in 8-box cases, which are freestanding cases. You know, our U.S. version of Revolution is 2 8-box cases in a bigger box that makes a master case. They don't have quote-unquote master cases for Chinese New Year. So we're doing a 16-box break, which is 2 separate cases. And, of course, this ended tonight on eBay, the same night we're breaking it, which is Thursday night, the 27th of February. We've got the team names on the left-hand side, the winning bidders across from each team on the opposite side. And once again, the Washington Wizards are available. So if anybody wants to pick up the Wizards, please jump into chat and let me know, because the person who bought them didn't pay for them. Imagine that. Imagine that. Somebody bidding in a break and not paying. So the last little piece of business here, I'm going to change up the focus. You will notice that your background is about to go out of focus. That is intentional. That's because I like to look at our cards up pretty closely, and by simply throwing that background out of focus a little bit allows us to do that. Hey, Edward, the Wizards sold on eBay for $74, so somewhere in that general vicinity, and of course, no shipping added to it, so just the straight cost on it, shipping included. So, Edward, if you are interested in the Wizards, you know the drill, man. Throw it out there. Let me know what you're thinking. And if we can find a home for the Wizards, that would be great, since they are currently setting as a little orphan team. But first things first, I got to get all these boxes out of here, so hang on. I found it sometimes on some of these cases, it's easier almost just to get the first layer out and then kind of turn it upside down and dump the rest out that way. Not dump out, but you know what I mean. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and just get both cases out and stacked up here on the table. So that's the first set of 8. I'm going to go ahead and get the other set of 8 out as well. So, Edward, what are you thinking on the Wizards, man? What kind of, tell me what you're thinking. And let's see if we can come to an agreement on them. Jake, you want them perfect, man. Perfect. Hang on one hot second. Let me get these boxes set up over here, and then I will type in. Actually, let's just stop and type that in for you now. Let me make sure they're still sitting unpaid. I imagine they are, but we'll just double check that and make sure. And yeah, they are. So Jake, here's what I am doing. I am typing in right now my email address that I use for PayPal. Now, I don't ever check correspondence in this, FYI, guys. So if you ever need me for something, please send me a message through eBay. Don't send it to that email address. Well, I mean, you can send it there, but I will literally never see it. There's, I don't know, 30,000 emails or so in there. I haven't read them in ages, so because I just don't use it for that. But anyway, if you can give us the thumbs up, please, Jake, when you are all squared away on PayPal, we will get rolling here in just a second. I am, meanwhile, going to update the spreadsheet to reflect what's going on there, that they've been picked up by somebody else. And I'm also going to end it out on eBay from the original unpaid person. We got to cancel that out too. So give me a second to accomplish those 2 things, please. All right, so part 1 is done. Let me do part 2 here. Is all right, I think I'm caught up now on my side. So Jake, if you can just kind of give us the thumbs up there and let me know if you're good on PayPal, if we're squared away, if we're good to go, or if we need to hang tight for a minute. And as soon as we get that thumbs up from you, we'll we'll head on down the road. I guess I can cut the plastic anyway while we're waiting on Jake to check back in with us. All right, you got it squared away. Good. Awesome. Thank you, sir. I'm going to save the spreadsheet over here, and we should be good to roll. All right, and remind me, Jake, I'll put that spreadsheet up again right at the end of the night to reflect that you picked that team up so you can see your name was added to it there. I just don't like to navigate away from the table once we have boxes out of cases and things like that. So many of you have probably opened this Chinese New Year version of Revolution before. It's been around for a few years now. It is a different configuration, of course, than our primary Revolution. We don't have the same types of parallels in here. We do have parallels, but it is the Chinese New Year parallel. And I believe those fall roughly once per pack, I think. And we may find some, I think there are some that are numbered, some that aren't. And my understanding is they've also added autograph possibilities in there this year. Now, in the past years, I don't think we had that with Revolution, did we? I don't think that we did. I'm trying to figure out which way is up. I probably have half of these upside down. I don't know. These cards are facing a million different ways. So like our other Revolution, it certainly is not guaranteed that we're going to hit any autographs at all in this one. They don't even give us like the loose ratio that they tend to give in regular Revolution. They don't even give us that for this. But their sales sheet does indicate that they have added it this year, the autograph possibility. So that's a little added perk. And of course, the Chinese New Year parallel itself, you can only get in this product. So that tends to be a good thing. You can usually get a little extra money for those. I know there is one parallel that is maybe emerald or something. It's a New Year parallel that is numbered to I believe 88. I think that one is called maybe emerald. And then there's another lower numbered New Year's parallel in here as well. So we'll kind of talk a little bit more about this stuff as we come across it. So there's our first Chinese New Year insert that we see. And the pattern is always going to look like this for New Year unless it's, got some color added to it. And even though he is in a Miami Heat uniform, you ignore the uniform. And you can see there it is, a Portland Trail Blazers card. Little tiny writing tells you when he was traded to the Blazers. And then, of course, the Blazers team name on the back tells you that that is where that card goes. Then we have all of our regular parallels. It's just the two parallels, the regular base and New Year in here. Nasir Little, so another one out for the Blazers. That one's a rookie, of course, so that's our first two are both rookies. Since these are one per pack, I will be sleeving these after we finish the break unless they're numbered because there's a lot of them. So rather than slowing you guys down while I sit and do that, we'll just sleeve the numbered ones as we go. Scott, you're looking for some Suns. All right, some Phoenix Suns. So we have a LeBron James New Year numbered to 88. And so that is what our parallels that are numbered to 88 are going to look like for New Year. And we've got, of course, base all through there. And this one heads to the Clippers. Got a little Paul George, and I know he's in an Oklahoma City Thunder uniform, but again, we go by the name, the team name shown on the card, not the team shown on the uniform, because they don't always match up. Oklahoma City Thunder and Darius Bazley. So another rookie on our parallel, which is always a good thing. Clippers and Mr. Kawhi Leonard. Then we have for the Nets, Kyrie Irving. And there's Quindary Weatherspoon for the Spurs. John Collins is facing the opposite way, but you know what? He's regular because I didn't see it saying New Year, so I just laid that pack down wrong. So those are all the standard version. This is what we needed to see on the bottom of the pile. And that is Ben Simmons for the 76ers. I think I've laid that stack incorrectly too, so let's try and get it flipped around a little bit. For the Nets, we have Kevin Durant. And our stack of base, probably flip backwards again here, aren't they? Yes. Gonna have to figure that out, aren't I? Getting those out of the packs the right way. The Miami Heat and KZ Okpala. Terry Rozier for the Hornets is the last of the parallel editions out of box number 1. And then of course you've got all the base and stuff ships too, but we're just more interested in the parallels in this product. So although I imagine that the base, even for probably almost any product, the base for Ja Morant and Zion probably sells for, you know, quite a few bucks, just a plain base card for the two of them out of most sets. So it's easy, not easy, but it's easier to recoup some of your money on those high dollar sets if you go through and sell off the base. Edward, you've got Hornets, Clippers, and Raptors tonight. You are loaded for bear, man. You got a nice haul in there. All right, well, we'll see what we can do for you. Hopefully find something good. I'm just glad they brought this product over. I mean, it's only been a couple years ago that they first brought it into the States after we hit the Chinese New Year, which is in February sometime. Early February, isn't it? Early or mid-February, anyway. Because before that, if you wanted to pick up that parallel, you had to buy it from an international seller. And man, it can get quite pricey doing that, so. All right. All right, hopefully I've got them all laying the right way this time. So our New Year is Jonathan Isaac for the Magic. And then we got a bunch of base. The Pelicans and Brandon Ingram. The Grizzlies, but not Ja. It is Brandon Clark for Memphis. Oklahoma City Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Admiral Schofield for the Wizards. You know what we might do? I've got an idea about what we might do for the next box. Tim Hardaway Jr. for the Dallas Mavericks. And Bradley Beal for the Wizards. What we might do is just take the New Year's off the top of each pack, because they seem to be on the top of each pack. Set those in one stack, set the base in the other. Might be the more efficient way to do that. The Kings and Kyle Guy. That way I'm not constantly picking up and setting down the stack of cards. Donovan Mitchell for the Jazz. A little AD for the Lakers. Michael Porter Jr., Nuggets. Oh, there we go. There comes a little Zion New Year parallel for the Pelicans. Yes, indeed. We've been looking for that one. And then some more base. Yeah, so in this box, what I am thinking is that I'll just set off each New Year's card, stack those in a stack, stack the base in a stack, I wish these would open a little easier, and then we'll look through them that way. I think we can go, ultimately, I think we can go through it a little quicker that way, if I sort them as we go. We'll find out. We'll try it. We'll experiment with this one. They do like to stick together a bit, though, I will say that. It likes to stick to the card in front of it for some reason or another. Yeah, I guess there's just no fast way to do it, no matter which way we do it. There's just no fast way to do it. So NFL Combine is this week. That's always interesting news to see who does what and who suddenly runs a super fast 40 and becomes the new buzz guy and all that stuff. It's always interesting to see what comes out of the Combine. All right, so we'll take a buzz through the base here first, and then we'll look at the parallels. And just remember, we're looking at the teams, the team logos, not the uniforms, just because sometimes the uniform and the team don't match. So it is going to go always to the team printed. All right, there's all the base from that box. Here come our hits. For the Wizards, there's your man Rui Hachimura. And we have the Greek Freak for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis. Jaren Jackson Jr., the Triple J's for the Grizzlies. Keldon Johnson for the Spurs, rookie. Jeff Teague, T-Wolves, the Spurs, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Terrence Mann for the Clippers, the Nets, and DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Ayton to 88. So another Emerald parallel that's headed to the Phoenix Suns. Horton Tucker, Lakers. Jokic for the Nuggets. And Booker, little Devin Booker action for the Phoenix Suns. Hi, Yankees cards. How are you? We're just busy breaking some Chinese New Year revolution. That will keep us occupied for a while tonight. It's hard to get basketball these days, as everybody knows. It is nearly impossible. It's almost as hard to find basketball products as it is to find face masks. You know, the whole coronavirus thing. So everybody's buying out all the face masks across the country that can help protect you against it, because they say it's coming. I mean, obviously we've got some cases here, but I mean, they seem to think it's almost inevitable that we'll have some hot spots and things break out somewhere along the way. So yeah, finding basketball products and finding face masks are about are about equal right now in terms of how hard it is to accomplish, believe it or not. Well, Cam Reddish, why do you have to stick to that card? Did we go about that one the opposite way? We did. Yeah, I haven't been able to find any. Wanted to get some for my mom and myself, and figured, you know what, it never hurts to be prepared, right? I mean, I don't really think it's going to hit our area. I think it'd probably be more major cities, more metropolitan, large cities probably than where we are. But hey, never hurts to be prepared. But yeah, there are like none to be found. But my sister found some up in Pennsylvania, so she said, well, she might send us a couple. So, okay. So I guess we'll be all right. So as we did with the last box, we're going through all of the base first, then we'll look at our parallels, although you probably mostly saw them as they were coming out of packs, I guess. But nonetheless, we still have to make it all official-like and look at them properly. Oh, one man tried to stay behind there, didn't he? Clippers, Kawhi Leonard. Followed by a little Samanic for the Spurs. Gary Harris, Nuggets. Trae Young, Hawks. Golden State Warriors, Smailagic. I don't say any of those names right. DeAndre Hunter and the Hawks. Oklahoma City Thunder, Chris Paul. The Chicago Bulls and Wendell Carter Jr. Pistons, Andre Drummond. The Blazers and Nasir Little. Clippers, Paul George. And for the Milwaukee Bucks, it's Chris Middleton. Well, Yankee cards, the hits in this are the New Year's parallel. So they do say in the sell sheet that it's possible to pull autographs in this. It doesn't really give a ratio. You know how in the American version it gives you, it says on average it's once every, whatever it is, 4 boxes or 3 boxes or whatever. I don't even remember the ratio. Once every 3? No. I don't know. Anyway, it's usually 4 out of an inner case out of the American version. But the Chinese New Year version in past years has had no autographs at all. This year, their sell sheet information indicated that there are possible autographs to be pulled. But that's not what you're looking for in here. I mean, it would be great if we hit it, but that's not the expectation. The expectation in this product is that New Year parallel. This is the only place you can get that, is in this version of the product. And there are a couple of variations of it. There's an emerald variation that is numbered to 88. And then there is another lower numbered variation that I can't offhand remember what it is numbered to, but I know there is another lower numbered version. Or at least I'm pretty sure there is. And then, of course, the possibility that somewhere along the way we may also pull an autograph, but no guarantee. Well, Yankee, you can get this anywhere in the United States now. It's the same as it's been for the last few years. It's an international product until the Chinese New Year has come and gone. Once the Chinese New Year has come and gone, Panini makes it available in the United States. So it's international first for a month or so, month or 6 weeks, and then it becomes USA available. So, I mean, you can go get it anywhere now. Not anywhere, not everywhere carries it, but I'm saying it's no longer hard to find in the US because Panini released it here. So, oh, Scott, you got an autograph, so out of another break you pulled one. Awesome. How often are they coming out? Have you noticed? Are they coming out like once per 8-box inner, or more often, less often? Have you got a feel for that? Because this is the first year autograph parallels have even been a possibility in here. So and this is obviously my first break of it, so I have no feel for how frequently or infrequently those are falling. But I'm glad they added them at least, because I think it's important. I mean, it's fun to have the New Year parallel, and that's very collectible and marketable in and of itself, but the autograph definitely helps. The Nuggets and Michael Porter Jr., the Spurs and Keldon Johnson, the Clippers with Terrence Mann, come the Spurs again, LaMarcus Aldridge, and then we have the Nets with DeAndre Jordan, the Kings and Kyle Guy, the Wizards, there's another Rui Hachimura, so that's a couple of the New Year parallels for Rui. The T-Wolves and Jeff Teague, an Emerald parallel, so numbered to 88. For the 76ers, it is Ben Simmons. The Lakers and AD, the Milwaukee Bucks with the Greek Freak, and Jaren Jackson Jr. for the Grizzlies. So, Scott, out of curiosity, what autograph did you pull? Was it a rookie? Was it a veteran? Like, was it in a 1-case break, a 2-case break? Now that you told us you got one, you know we want all the details. I'm nosy like that. I'm definitely picking your brain. You can't just say like, hey, I got one of those and then leave. We got to know the deets, man. Hook us up. Inquiring minds want to know and all that sort of stuff. I know, Jake, you are doing all right so far with having picked up the Wizards, so hopefully the trend is going to continue here. That's the idea. It often works out that way. Not always, but often it seems to work out that when somebody picks up a team that was unpaid, that stuff will come out for the team. Oh, you didn't pull one. I got you. All right. So I thought when you said I got one, I thought you meant you pulled an autograph in another break. I got you. When you typed in I got one, that's what I thought you meant. Sorry. Thought you meant you'd gotten an autograph hit. All right. Well, then I guess we can't pick your brain on that one too much, can we? We'll just have to wait and see what our 16 boxes and our 2 cases bring tonight. But Panini has themselves raised the price on a bunch of stuff. So talking about how hard basketball is to find, I mean, the price for this was quite a bit higher than it was last year. And they raised the price of National Treasures by about 50%. So, yeah. And they didn't raise National Treasures for the other sports, so it's not like it was an across-the-board price increase, which, by the way, it never increases that much from year to year anyway. But specifically for basketball, just because it's so hot this year, they thought, oh, well, why don't we try to make a little more on it, which I kind of thought was, you know, a little bit of a jerk move on Panini's part. It's not like they're not making plenty of money on this anyway, but yeah, so you can expect, there's just a base jaw, but still. You can expect a box of National Treasures retail price. Now, you know, getting any of that at retail is, well, it's about as likely as finding an entire warehouse full of face masks that are just waiting to be distributed. Yeah, as in it's not going to happen. But the retail price for National Treasures basketball this year is going to be $750 a box. And the retail price on all the rest of it, the other sports, continues to be $500 a box, I believe. So they've jacked it up. Whoops, they've jacked it up from $500 to $750. Nice, right? Bruno Fernando and the Hawks. The Pistons have Blake Griffin. The Sixers with Embiid. Nola. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Pacers, Malcolm Brogdon. An Emerald, numbered to 88, is heading to The Atlanta Hawks with Bruno Fernando. The Raptors and Kyle Lowry. Pacers and Victor Oladipo. Celtics, Romeo Langford. The Nuggets and Jamal Murray. 76ers, again, ignore that uniform. 76ers and Al Horford. Detroit Pistons and D Rose. So I fully expect that the price point on National Treasures on the day of release, it's not going to be $750 retail price. It's going to probably be about double that, I'm expecting. So I'm thinking it's going to open up somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,200 to $1,500 a box. Yeah, a box. Probably closer to the $1,500. It's going to be around $6,000 a case, I'm expecting, on release day. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it won't go that high, but I think it will. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to break a lot of National Treasures basketball this year. It's going to be hard to get. It's nearly impossible to get. And then it's going to be expensive. Because what happens, of course, the distributors, well, they still get plenty. They still get as much as they got the year before, and usually have been bumped up by about 10% over what they were given the prior year. But what happens when products are really hot is all of a sudden all these distributors will start saying, oh, well, you didn't earn enough to you didn't earn 2 cases this year. It's like, really? Because I have spent like a whole lot more money this year than I did last year, and last year you gave me XYZ, and this year you're telling me I'm getting less even though I've spent more. So they magically change the formulas as to what you are allowed to purchase to make sure that you don't get hardly any. And then they save the rest themselves. It's not as though they sell out of it. They have it, but they just hold it back. And then they're the ones who, on release day, will be selling it for, $1,500 a box if you want it, after telling you you didn't spend enough to earn any more through the regular year. So it's a big racket. It really is. All the way from the top downward. When it's a desirable product, they're going to make you pay and pay and pay and pay. Which makes it very difficult to break certain things in an eBay format, because you just have no control over where something's going to end up. You can count on your certain teams are always going to do well, but what happens is, maybe you've got 3 or 4 teams that do well, but if you have 10 or 12 teams that just tank and sell for $10 or $15 a piece, then you don't end up even covering your money by the time you pay all the fees and all that on that high-end stuff. So it makes it hard sometimes to break as much of it as you would like. Of course, this year we're not going to have it anyway, so it's not going to matter. It's not like they're going to turn around and be like, oh yeah, you can have 10 cases of that. No, we'll probably get like 2, something crazy. But we do what we must. Of course, the other thing that I think they should do is reward the people who buy basketball every year. Because there are those of us, myself included, I buy all the basketball products, even in bad basketball years. I still buy all the products, even if I lose money on them. I buy them. And then you have the people who come in only when it's a hot rookie year, and somehow they end up getting as much as you get from having been loyal all throughout the years. TJ Warren for the Phoenix Suns. I don't know why I stopped. Or for the Pacers. Sorry, guys. I'm guilty there. I looked at the uniform. TJ Warren for the Pacers. Oy. I also don't know why I suddenly sleeved him, but I did. The Pistons. And the guy whose name I never say correctly. Numbered to 88 for the Knicks. It is Dennis Smith Jr. The Nets and Nicholas Claxton. The Magic and Aaron Gordon. Magic Mo Bamba. The Grizzlies, Jonas Valanciunas. Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole. The Jazz and Mike Conley. The Cavaliers and Kevin Love. Raptors, Marc Gasol. Phoenix Suns, Cam Johnson. All right, so this is the last box of the first inner case. So we're opening 16 in total. This is box number 8 coming right here. So there's 10, 12, 14, 16 setting up there. So we're almost at the halfway point. Oh, got those going upside down again, don't we? I know. I hope we do pull an autograph. I would like to. Would make me very happy if we do. I would hope that we'll find one somewhere in the 16, but they didn't really say. I wonder if it tells us. Does it tell us on the pack anything about the odds? No, it doesn't. It just says, well, you can read it there. It says that the rookies' autographs, Chinese New Year version, are numbered, I guess, 45 to 1. They are numbered from 45 to as low as 1 of 1, I guess is what that's saying. So it doesn't really tell us, like, how many. Doesn't say you should one in every X number of packs. It just says that that's how they're numbered, so that doesn't really give us much good information, does it? I was kind of hoping it would say, you know how Topps does, it'll say 1 in blah, blah, blah. 200 packs or 1 in 20 packs or whatever it might be on any given product. No such luck tonight. But hey, at least we have the possibility of it, so I guess we should be happy that they stepped up their game and did that anyway. All right. Going to see what else it says on here. So besides the emerald that we have already found that's numbered to 88, the other one we could find is a gold version numbered to 8. So that's the deal. And then, of course, we looked at the rest of that already. So I knew there was another one besides the emerald. I just couldn't quite remember what it was. Been one of those days. It's actually been kind of one of those weeks to a certain extent. You know how you just kind of get like your week off track, something happens, something unexpected, who knows what it was, you know, just something you had to attend to that you didn't have planned or scheduled to do that week, and then it just kind of throws your whole week off. It's hard to get back in gear after that sometimes. The Spurs, Quinndary Weatherspoon. The Hornets and Miles Bridges. Brooke Lopez for the Bucks. Darius Bazley for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Siakam and the Raptors. The Bulls, Markkanen. A little PJ Washington for the Charlotte Hornets. And the Hornets again with Terry Rozier. Hassan Whiteside for the Trail Blazers. Miami Heat and KZ again. I think we saw him earlier. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Gallinari. The Lakers and LeBron. I know we've seen him earlier, but I think he was in an Emerald Parallel, maybe. Trying to figure out a way that I can extract them without them being stuck to the card in front of them. Neither way seems to work. I mean, they're going to kind of be suctioned to that card either way, but I'm still just searching for the most efficient way to get them out of the pack, really, is what I'm trying to figure out. Although now I've got some going in both different directions, don't I? Oi, okay. So maybe that way isn't the answer. What do you think? Yeah. So yeah, Zion keeps living up to the billing. I'm going to tell you, I mean, he was definitely good in his lone season at Duke, and I think we all projected him to be really good. Then he came up with that injury, and I think, yeah, there's always a little bit of a nagging kind of, are they going to come back the same way? How long is it going to take them to get back in shape and all that? So a little maybe kind of in the back of your mind in that regard. But I have to say, he has come on and lived up to every bit of the hype. And it's hard to live up to as much hype as that guy has surrounding him. But so far, he really kind of is, I think. So that is not too bad. Not too bad of a way to start your rookie campaign. I mean, he had to sit for those first few weeks, but man alive, he's making up for it, isn't he? I definitely don't think we have anybody like him in the next draft class. Of course, you don't find players like him but about once a decade, probably, that are to his level, but I don't know. I haven't really seen anybody yet in college ball that I'm just absolutely wowed by this year. But tournament time, that's when we'll get a better look at all the teams and games that don't play in our home markets. We'll get another good look at them pretty soon for March Madness. The Bucks and Eric Bledsoe. The Warriors, Klay Thompson. The Phoenix Suns and Ty Jerome. Celtics, Jaylen Brown. The Warriors and Jordan Poole. The Hawks and John Collins. T-Wolves, the Big Cat, Karl Anthony Towns. Houston Rockets, James Harden. For the Suns, Cam Johnson. Nola and Jackson Hayes. The Kings and Buddy Hield. And the Celtics with Gordon Hayward. Even this product, I just bought this, I don't know, I guess about a week or 10 days ago. Like, it hasn't been that long ago. Sometime within the last 2 weeks, I bought this product. And just now got it worked into the rotation. So it's been here, yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood. So in that 7 to 10 day window, roughly, this has already gone up by 50% in cost. Because I was going to buy some more. In fact, I called back like 2 or 3 days after I bought this and had thought about it and thought, well, we don't have anything much coming for basketball for a while. I should order a little more. So I called back to order more, and he's like, oh, yeah, that price is different now. That's not the same. It's not going to be the same price you paid. It's like, Okay, how much has it gone up? And he told me, and I said, oh, all right, I think I might have to sit back on that then. And then don't you know it's even gone up again since then. Every single day, it just goes a little bit higher. Crazy, right? But that is how it works. I always think there's, you know, you get to a certain point where it feels like things are pretty saturated price-wise, and you think, there's no way anybody's going to pay more than XYZ. And by golly, don't you know, there's always somebody willing to pay more than XYZ. So these people, like, I'm going, where do you get all that money, man? It's got to be people who break it in their own rooms or break it on Facebook or whatever, but in other words, don't deal with eBay and the eBay associated fees. And then they would have to set some tremendously high prices for the more desirable teams. There's the only way they could cover it the way some of this stuff sells. The Lakers and Horton Tucker, Clippers and Terrence Mann, 76ers and Al Horford, the Nuggets and Gary Harris, and there's Bol Bol for the Nuggets. Here are the Wizards again. That one is Justin Robinson. The Hawks and Trae Young. Oklahoma City Thunder, Chris Paul. There's your Ja Morant variation for the Memphis Grizzlies in the New Year parallel for Ja. Good to see that one show up. Wendell Carter Jr., Bulls. Detroit and Andre Drummond. Clippers, Paul George. Dallas, Isaiah Roby. Detroit, Emerald /88, the guy whose name I butcher. Diumba, that's not right. Diumbaya. I don't know. I can't say it. Obviously. There's the Milwaukee Bucks and Chris Middleton. I've never been able to say it, and I've seen it spelled out. I've heard it spoken out loud. I just can't get a grip on it. I don't know. I just can't get that pronunciation fixed in my brain. I don't know how much Zion base there's been. I haven't been paying attention to the base, honestly. I could not tell you how much Zion base there's been. I did see one, I think, for sure. There may very well be more in here. I haven't been keeping track of any of the base, of the straight base. Of course, I'm showing it all to you guys because I know some of you may want to keep track of it, but I do not attempt to retain that. But yes, there has been one New Year's parallel so far of Zion, and I don't know how much base for him or any of the others. I don't know how much base. Of course, when I'm sorting it, I'll go through and appropriately take care of all the ones that need to be sleeved and top loaded and all that kind of jazz. It's just as we're going through it, I don't know. It's an awful lot of cards, and I don't retain what we're looking at. I really don't pay attention to the base too much, ever. Well, I do when I'm sorting it, because I've got to make sure I've got the right stuff protected and taken care of and ready to go. But I'm talking about as far as breaking it. I do not. You think we're going to get 1 to 8 for the Phoenix Suns in here? All right, let's do it. Let's try to make it happen, Scott. We'll try to find that gold hollow parallel, I think is what they called it, right? Gold hollow. It's in hollow foil parallel. So let's try and find it. I want to find an autograph too. Like, I'm going to be bummed if we don't find one out of 2 cases. Maybe they don't fall very frequently, but they didn't tell us any of that. They didn't. There's no Chinese New Year in that whole pack. Look at that. There's no card left in there either. Weird. So in the last box, I noticed we had a couple of packs where we had 2 New Year's cards in the same pack, and then that pack we didn't have any at all, which was odd. But see, it's stuff like that. That's why Panini always puts on average as a disclaimer on everything that they do, because they don't always give you what you're supposed to get. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. Most of the time you get right on the money, but not always. Not always. So they're way worse about that than Topps. I mean, it's not like it happens super frequently with Panini, but definitely I've had hits left out plenty of times in Panini products. Of course, with Topps last year, I opened a case of, was it Bowman Chrome? I think it was Bowman Chrome Jumbo. And I opened the case and it was short 1 box. I'm like, what? And it was factory sealed. I mean, it hadn't been tampered with. It came directly from my normal distributor, so it hadn't been messed with at all. It's just somehow or another Topps didn't get the right number of boxes in there. Golden State Warriors and Draymond Green. And there's Julius Randle for the Knicks. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Darius Baisley. The Atlanta Hawks and John Collins. For the T-Wolves, Karl Anthony Towns. The Milwaukee Bucks and Eric Bledsoe. The Golden State Warriors and Pascal. The Warriors, Klay Thompson. The Wizards and Thomas Bryant. The Sixers and Matisse Thybulle. And the T-Wolves, Jarrett Culver. See, Kirsch, you said the autograph checklist is all rookies and they're serial numbered to their jersey number in this product. Okay, no, I did not realize that it was serial numbered to their jersey number in here. So that's good to know. All right. There we go. So that makes Zion a 1 of 1, even though his jersey number is 0, right? So Ja, it would be numbered to 12 and etc. Yeah, we looked on the back of one of these wrappers and it just told us whatever it says on there, numbered from as high as 45 all the way down to 1. But what I was looking for was the odds in terms of out of how many packs should we be finding an autograph, but they're not telling us that info, so don't know. Could be 1 in every 10 cases, could be 1 in every 100 cases, don't know. Oh, you're saying Nikhil Alexander-Walker is 1 of 1 because his jersey number is 0, but Zion is also a 1 of 1 in here. Yeah, okay. All right, well, that is good information to have. Yeah, my distributor really didn't give me much of any info about this, just that they had it, which is really, frankly, all they have to do for basketball these days. They don't have to sell it. They just call you and say they have it, and you go, yes. yes, please, send it. And I went to another website and found the manufacturer's info, and that's what I cut and pasted at the bottom of the listing, so I do remember it saying on there that it had rookie autographs in it, and I remember seeing Zion and all that, but I didn't remember that it was specifically tied to their jersey number. So now we know. look at a lot of product information on any given week, and I don't know how I don't retain more of it. I think because I look at so much of it. Between what I'm listing and then what my distributors solicit, you do see tons of product information every week. And for whatever reason, I have a difficult time retaining it. All right. It's kind of cool, though, that they did it to their jersey number. I mean, everybody likes that when they come out to the jersey numbers. In general, I find, anyway, people tend to gravitate towards that. This makes it a little more unique, I guess. For the Miami Heat, it's KZ Okpala again. And the Celtics with Jaylen Brown. The Kings, Buddy Hield. Celtics, Gordon Hayward. Rockets and James Harden. The Pistons and Jordan Bone. Andrew Wiggins, T-Wolves. For the Knicks, Dennis Smith Jr. For the Hornets, P.J. Washington. Cleveland, Clarkson. Philly, Jimmy Butler. The Spurs and Quinndary Weatherspoon. All right, we have opened 12, and we have 4 left to go. If I can get through the plastic, that is. Eventually. Eventually I get us in there. Sometimes it takes a minute. I think this product is currently sitting at about $80 a box or something like that. 80 or 90 a box. So there's definitely somebody pulling some value out of these things, or I should say, or they wouldn't be going up. But you know what? Honestly, I think that Panini could paint a rock and put Zion's picture painted on a rock and say you could hit it in a pack and the case would sell for $1,000. It's truly madness surrounding the Pelicans, which is kind of hard if you're a Pelicans fan, right? Because you've waited a long time, really since Anthony Davis, to have somebody really good come along. So you've probably been collecting your Pelicans all through the down years, spending your hard-earned money to collect the rookies that they have, hoping somebody's going to come up big, and then they kind of don't. And then you finally get to the year where you've got somebody big and it costs you, I don't know, like a left kidney and maybe a foot or an arm to buy the spot. It's just crazy. That's how I start many of my conversations with my reps these days. How many of my vital organs do I need to sell on the black market to be able to afford this product? Yeah, so depending on what they tell me, then I know I get prepared for sticker shock, you know. All right, the Charlotte Hornets and Cody Martin. Nola Okafor. Wizards and John Wall. Grizzlies, Brandon Clark. Pacers, Miles Turner. For the Kings, Marvin Bagley. The Pacers, and Birazzi. Lakers, Kuzma. Miami Heat, Dragic. There's another Zion, so there's 2 New Year's parallels anyway for Zion and the Pelicans. The Miami Heat and Bam Adebayo. The Lakers and Boogie Cousins. So I'm assuming that the one-of-ones haven't been pulled yet for Zion and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, right? Because if they had been, I think we would have all heard about that by now. So they must somewhere still be in the product. We pulled some nice Zion out of preseason. In fact, I want to say we might have even hit a one-of-one out of some of the preseason for Zion. You know, when they do like collegiate draft picks or contenders draft or the various kinds of collegiate products they've come out with for basketball in the last few years. So out of some of that stuff, I think we did pull one. That was a one-of-one. Maybe not, but I think we did. Honestly, I open so much stuff, it's hard to remember. I guess, is next week Select Basketball? Maybe it is next week. We have several things coming, but I can't remember exactly what was on the calendar. I'll have to look at that tomorrow. They always update it on Fridays, so anything that they change, they usually communicate on the Friday prior. So, except for Leaf, who half the time doesn't communicate it until the day it comes out, which is super frustrating. You've been keeping an eye out for the Zion one-of-one. You haven't seen it come out yet, but you hope it doesn't tonight because you didn't win New Orleans. You were the underbidder. Okay, all right. Yeah, I thought if this one had shown up yet that somebody would know about it because it would have been probably a pretty hot little commodity. Well, whenever it comes out, it's going to be a hot little commodity. Pelicans, Jackson Hayes. Porzingis, Dallas. Denver and Millsap. Warriors, Jordan Poole. The Grizz and Brandon Clark. The Spurs and LaMarcus Aldridge. Nets, DeAndre Jordan. Suns with Ty Jerome. Nuggets, Jokic. The Suns and D-Book. The Jazz, Conley. And Cleveland with Kevin Love. Is he still trying to force his way out of Cleveland? Is he still kind of being a jackhole and carrying on and trying to orchestrate an exit from Cleveland, Kevin Love, or is he just settled down now? Jake says he didn't want any Zions. He's looking for Rui Hachimura. Exactly. All right, we are our, whoops, there's sliding everywhere. We are our next to last box. Getting ready to come out of the wrappers now. Yeah, I don't know how many. I'd say there's probably a pretty good number of breakers that break this product, especially this year. But I don't know how many in general, because it wasn't a pre-order product. At least, I mean, unless you were an international customer. It's just, you just have to kind of know that every year after the Chinese New Year takes place, that Panini makes it available. And then you have to just go scout for it, basically. Because they don't put out a sell sheet pre-order kind of thing for it. So there's probably at least some breakers who didn't know about it in time, or probably some who just don't care either, but there's probably a fair number breaking it this year, I would say. Of course, Revolution itself, basic USA version Revolution, was pretty short in supply this year too. Generally, that's one that you can buy in pre-order almost as much of as you want. Never entirely as much, but a lot. And that wasn't the case this year. That was cut way back as well. Of course, football is going to be crazy in the upcoming year. As soon as we start getting any products that are any of the draft products, I think they're just going to go nuts because everybody's crazy for Joe Burrow. And then, of course, Tua. He's still a little bit of the wild card depending on how that hip heals. Although I guess the preliminary things that they've seen look like it's healing properly. You're not going to know till you see him get out on the field and start moving around, which he's a ways away from yet. So in the meantime, we live with all that potential. LeBron James, Lakers, the Bulls and Kobe White, the Nets and Kevin Durant. That is the Emerald Parallel, numbered to 88. Isaiah Roby, Dallas. Ben Simmons, Sixers. The Nets and Durant. There is another Ja Morant. I believe that's our second New Year parallel for him. Hornets and Terry Rozier. The Blazers and Hassan Whiteside. Celtics, Grant Williams. Oklahoma City Thunder, Gallinari. And the Hornets, Miles Bridges. It kind of makes you wonder, since we've gotten two and we opened two cases, makes you wonder if there's maybe a single Zion New Year in every case and a single Ja Morant New Year parallel in every case. And I think we might have gotten two Rui Hachimuras as well, didn't we? That'd be interesting to know if it's kind of an unofficial case hit or not. Might just be coincidental. Or maybe we'll find 5 more here in the last box. Who knows? But anyway we look at it, we are hitting last box mojo right now. So let's kind of collectively focus our energies here and see if we can't maybe conjure up an autograph or a hollow gold to 8 or something else incredibly awesome. Let's try to conjure it up. What do you say? You with me? I think we can do it. I'm feeling good about it. I hear my little cat down there starting to think about playing with a new toy. So if you hear a strange noise in a minute, that's what it's going to be. My mother, her cat passed away a couple of weeks ago. And so she's been bringing over the toys that her cat had for our little guy, and he has been loving it. So each time she comes over, she brings a new toy, and he just goes crazy. But so far, he's been quiet tonight during the break, about the first time all night. But I'm just warning you because it sounded like he was getting ready to rev up down there. So we'll find out shortly. All right, we're Raptors, Kings. Why am I reading those off? These are the base. They're not the New Year. I'm reading them off like they're the New Year parallels, but they're not. I'm looking at the New Year up there and then reading off the base. That's crazy. Can you tell I needed more caffeine today? I definitely didn't get enough caffeine in me today. All right, our last group of the New Year parallels. Suns. LeCue, or however you say his name. I have no idea how you say his name. The Clippers and Montrezl Harrell. Whew. The Spurs and Derek White. This might be the first Tyler Hero we've seen in a New Year parallel, isn't it? I think it is. All these New Year's parallels are ultimately going to get sleeved, guys. So if you're worried about that, I am ultimately going to do them all. I just didn't do them all as we went because it takes a lot longer. And you don't need to sit there for that. Jonathan Isaac and the Magic. Brandon Ingram, Pelicans. The Celtics and Carson Edwards. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City. New York Knicks. Brazatskis, I don't know. Zach LaVine and the Bulls, the Celtics with Jason Tatum, and the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell. All right, so that is Chinese New Year Revolution. Now, we can do a couple of different things here, and you all can kind of guide me as to what you prefer to do. We can look back through all of the Chinese New Year parallels. There are a lot of them, obviously. But we can look back through all of those if you want, a few hundred. Or we can just recap our numbered parallels and let that be that. So it's kind of up to you. You all jump into chat and let me know if you want to look back through every one of them or not. I can tell you we do have two that were Ja Morant that were the New Year parallel, two Zion Williamson that are parallels, and two Rui Hachimura parallels, and one Tyler Hero that was Chinese New Year, because I did sort those out separately as we went. The ones that are numbered, we have Kevin Durant to 88 for the Nets. The Pistons, and that is 88, the guy whose name I can't pronounce. The Knicks, Dennis Smith Jr. to 88. The Hawks and Bruno Fernando to 88. 76ers and Ben Simmons, well, obviously to 88. All these are. DeAndre Ayton and the Suns to 28. And LeBron James and the Lakers to 88. 88 to all of those. So what is the consensus here, guys? Do you want to look back through all the other Chinese New Year, the base New Year parallels or not? Yay, nay, maybe? No, Jake, we should be good as long as your eBay, as long as the address for your eBay order for the Pacers is the correct address, we'll be good to go. Because what I will do is print the label for the Pacers and just include the Wizards in the same package. Does that make sense? So as long as your address is correct on eBay for shipping, we will be fine, because that's where I'll print the label from. I only go to PayPal to print labels if somebody doesn't already have something pending in eBay that I can do in a batch label. So yeah, we can do it that way. All right, so I'm guessing nobody cares about looking through the giant stack of the rest of the New Year parallels. So we'll go ahead and get our spreadsheet information and that sort of stuff up and running again. For those who might have missed it earlier, this is what you need to know. All right, Marvin, cool. Yeah, we ran through the numbered ones already, of course, and unfortunately we had no autographs. Chinese New Year did us no favors and delivered us no autographs. So we went through the numbered ones there just a second ago. I'm guessing you probably saw it, but there's a delay in chat, so that's why I'm just seeing what you typed. All right, so I'm hoping to have this out the door on Monday, and if I can get it out to you sooner than that, I will, but I don't really think it will be sooner than that. There are a couple of breaks still yet to go ahead of this one, so I feel like Monday is the most likely shipping date for this to go out the door. And, well, you saw how many cards we just looked at, so I feel pretty comfortable in saying all the teams are going to have cards coming. If for some reason somebody did not pull a card of any sort, base or otherwise, you would still get a package in the mail and it would have consolation card or cards in it. Always works that way when it's a paid shipping break with me. Now, here's what it looks like in the days ahead. It looks kind of quiet, right? But kind of it's not, because those are all long breaks. So tomorrow night we're going to do a case of Select Football. It'll take us about an hour and a half too. XRC Redemption is a separate bidding category. On Saturday it's a half case of Topps Heritage Baseball. Sunday night is an off night. Monday night is a 12-box case of Plates and Patches Football. That'll be a quick night. And then on Tuesday night, we'll do another case of Select Football with, once again, XRC Redemptions being a separate bidding spot. Oh, I know what else I was going to do. I was going to show that spreadsheet again so that we had a note there that Jake had picked up the Wizards because they were unpaid on eBay. So that's just showing where I added him a while ago. And now we are, I believe, wrapped up for tonight. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Always appreciate you spending part of your time with me and bidding and breaking and chatting with me. So I hope you have a fantastic Friday, yay, end of the week, and a good weekend ahead. If I don't see you again tomorrow night, I hope you will come back and see me sometime soon. In the meantime, I'm wrapped up. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Bye now.